Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, it's the age-old question. What happens when the Federal Reserve reduces interest rates? Is it boom or is it going to be bust? You guys should know the answer to this, but just in case we have new people here, maybe you don't know the answer. And we are going to talk about this tonight because buy assets at an all-time high. No liabilities any longer. Too many people are living paycheck to paycheck, and therefore, down the line, it's only going to be worse. Welcome to the SSN Nation Friday night live stream. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, we are over in Instagram Live now. We've added a little bit to the arsenal. Once again, thank you, everybody on Instagram. Thank you, everybody on YouTube and other social media platforms, because I can already see right now I'm missing a social media platform here. Can't have that, can we? Well, we'll find out here shortly. But nonetheless, make sure you smash that like button so the YouTube gods know that you're here. Make sure you smash that follow button, whether you're on Instagram, Pinterest, it does not matter. X, make sure you let people know we are live. And once again, all I can do is say thank you so much for being here. All right. Now, let's get down to business, shall we? Because if you missed the last hour, you miss InstaVid AI. It's going. Some of us are on the first Friends and Family round, which is a great thing. September, the official launch with a new, I can't even tell you what it is actually, but in September, there's a launch. Let's just put it that way. All right. Going to be an influencer fest. And therefore, that's when the launch is going to happen with some big time influencers, because they know what to do with this technology at InstaVid AI. If you want to get on the white list to be in a business opportunity, investors, then I suggest you make sure you hit up info@instavidai.com. info@instavidai.com. Let Oscar know you're from SSN Nation, because then you can get in. All right. Otherwise, it's bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's get into some other things, because let me see who's in the house tonight. We have Jaway J here, an investor extraordinaire. Welcome to the SSN Nation Friday night live stream with that icon I greatly appreciate next to his name. And he brings his tagline. What will happen is lower interest rates, which would reduce borrowing costs for homes, cars, and other major purchases, and probably fuel higher stock prices. Ding, 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 ding. But we'll only do this if economy is weak. All right, his last part, it won't matter. And there's a reason why it won't matter. And we'll get into some of that shortly. And Jaway J original tagline was, hello, SSN Nation. Happy Friday, everyone. Received the notification, saw the trailer, and he did a one piece and smashed the like button here. So once again, thank you so much for being in the house. And Victor Marrero, soon to be retiree, another investor extraordinaire. He's not just good with one thing. He says, I'm going to do some stocks. I'm going to do some options trading. I'm going to work for 2 different retirement paychecks. What else? I got a 401k. I'm buying real estate. That's right. The man went buck wild over his last, I don't know, 40, 50 years, investing the right way. And for him, when the interest rates go down, he's holding a lot of assets. And that means exponentially. What does it mean, ladies and gentlemen? Exponentially. If you have one asset and that one asset makes $100,000 profit in 12 months, but what if you're holding 5? And each one of those range from $100,000 to $125,000. Instead of only $100,000, you have 500 or 600,000 worth of assets. That's why the rich get richer, because they don't just have one asset, they diversify. Some of the assets, when you buy into a business, you have money coming in while you're sleeping. When you buy real estate and you rent it out, you have money coming in while you're sleeping. You buy stocks and you have dividend stocks. You have money coming in while you're sleeping. Those are assets here in the SSN Nation. And that's what's going to happen when the Federal Reserve reduce the interest rates. And he says it. It looks like the Feds will lower interest rates. You're damn right. The stock market is still on fire due to expectations. Stick with the big stocks and ETFs and you will be very happy. Now, everybody on podcast, everybody watching everywhere. Some people are already saying, Victor Marrero, they're going, hey, what's he mean by these stocks? What ETFs? What stocks? Okay. I will just get this out the way first. This is Victor Marrero's. He says it, I say it. SPY. I'll stick with his. SPY, QQQ, VOO, VOOG, just for starters. Those are ETFs. All right? They give you a little dividends, but so be it. Now, we go to ETF proper, JEPI, JEPQ. You want 9.5, 10.5% annually? Then that's JP Morgan funds. JPI, JEPI, JEPQ for starters. All right? That just gets you safe. You want to play safe? Then that's how you play safe. You want to play a little more safer? Okay, well, I'll use Mr. Dividends, his favorite stock, Energy Transfer, ET. Why? Because energy is always going to be one of those things. When the Federal Reserves reduce the interest rates, just like Jaway J alluded to, that gives borrowing power to people that traditionally would not have been able to qualify at a higher rate because your payment is lower. And a lot lower is when they reduce it. And this is why Victor Marrero, we have a lot of smart people here. That's why he mentioned in his tagline that the stock market will rise. And that's why he mentioned, let me go back to it. Now, hold on. Where is it? Oh, it was the same one. All right. The stock market is still on fire due to expectations. That's exactly what's happening here. It doesn't matter what the interest rate is now, even though it might be the 40-year all-time high or whatever it is. But the point is, that's why the stock market goes up, because they know a rate cut is coming. And for everybody that's new here, here's what a rate cut actually means. Just what Jaway J was saying. Reduce borrowing costs for homes. So now what happens? Home prices go up because more homes will be bought. And that's not all, because in the last video live stream we did like an hour ago, we glossed over the real estate game has changed. Your broker or your realtor isn't the same anymore. Realtors are vying for your business. They may not charge you 3%. You might not have to pay 3% or 4% or 5% or 6% anymore. Wouldn't that be awesome? Because they have to compete for your business and they go, well, I'll do yours for 2%. So that's all you care about, because now the person selling their home, hey, they have to have their seller realtor. So whatever they negotiate, I don't really care about. So now I don't pay 6% no more. You see what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, or split it. We don't have to deal with that anymore. It's automatically split. I love it. So anyhow, this is where we're going. A boom is going to happen. Soon as they lower the boom, what am I guessing? I'm guessing, okay, it's July. I don't think they're going to reduce the interest rate. I think it's going to have to be somewhere like September or August, whenever their last rate increase was, because that takes a year. And after that year, they're pulling the old stunt. Since the prices already went up, we've already went as high as we're going to go. Nobody's going to borrow at 5.5 or 5.25%. Not that many people. So inflation naturally goes down. Or shall I say the price gouging goes down, right? So then they're going to claim, oh, look, it's 2% inflation or 2.5. We can reduce the interest rate now. And then we're off to the races, ladies and gentlemen. 70% of you may have a hard time to get off to the races. Why? Because you still do not understand. You need to pay down everything and find yourself some disposable income so you can buy assets, things that go up in value. And some of those are easy. It's real estate. That's easy. Stocks, those are easiest too out of everything. Now, I will say one other thing. I missed the VOOG, and then I see down here Victor Marrero once again. It looks like the Fed will lower the interest rates. Yes, that's happening. And then he went on his stock spree. ETFs, SPY, QQQ, VTI, VOO, IVV. Interesting. Stocks. Oh, he's going with the big boys. Yeah, the big boys. He left Apple off the list. Microsoft, Meta, Tesla, FBY, AMD, NVIDIA, SMH, Apple. I'm just going to say that again. All right. And let's just call it what it is. It's going to be a boom of unproportional. That's all I can say. This is going to be something that everybody can participate in. The age will not matter. But the problem is you have to acquire, and it's very hard to acquire right now if you are living paycheck to paycheck. So all I'm going to say is if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you basically have a year and a half to 2 years, but you need to try and get some assets now before the bull run. The bull run's already started, quite frankly, but it hasn't taken off where all of a sudden things where you saw it at $30 a share or $20 a share, and then it's 150. It hasn't taken off like that yet, but it's a steady climb is happening for basically the top 20% of each of the stock indexes. This is why we have all-time record highs. But what's going to happen when there's 40 or 50% of all the stocks rising? That's where you have this tsunami of money coming into the marketplace to boost the prices up. And that's also where people borrow money, the corporations, to boost their stock prices up. Because again, they have incentives. You have to understand, you have an incentive as an individual. But if you are an executive that has stock options, and part of your stock options has to do with, well, right now the stock is $20 a share. If it goes up to $50 a share, you get $50 million in stock options. So you don't have an incentive just to sit back and relax. Your incentive is, hey man, we can borrow $20 million as a corporation. We can buy back our own shares, increase the price of our stock. And if it gets to the $40, all we care about is we got some millions of stock options coming in. That's all we care about. We care about the bonus that it's going to trigger, the stock options it's going to trigger. So that's what we're going to do. We can manipulate the system. And that's what they do. And because our Supreme Court gutted the Securities and Exchange Commission, all these guys are going to be doing insider trading with reckless abandon. So stocks are going to be on steroids. Unfortunately, the top 10% of the wealthiest, they own 90% of the stock market, or 89%. We got to get in there, ladies and gentlemen. You got to get in there. You don't let the rich just wipe us out, because in 3 years, you better be making $200,000 a year. And I have bad news for all of those retirees who said, okay, I have a pension and I have my house and that's all I have. I have my pension. I have my 401k. That's all I have. You're going to need all assets on deck if you're an ordinary citizen. You cannot just sit around and go, okay, I have a house and I have a pension. That will not cut it. And people all over the country right now who have retired 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they thought they were going to retire, what, at 65, right? And they were going to be comfortable where they had $6, $7, $8, $9,000 a month coming in. Well, now they're getting a rude awakening when their insurances are costing $9,000 or $10,000 a year. When they're telling people you got to put on a new roof or you got to do something structurally to your house before we insure you. All of this is unaccounted for because this has never happened. So how can you account for all of a sudden telling you got to have a roof, otherwise we can't insure you, and you got to spend $100,000? Sure, you might have had $1 million sitting somewhere, but 100,000, 120,000 gone. Never mind the other things that occurred. The insurance, instead of it being $1,000 a year or $1,500, now they're talking $10,000. So now you got to give up $10,000 annually for that. And then real estate pops up and says, oh, yeah. You used to pay like $2,000, $3,000 a year, but now we want $6,000 or $7,000. All of a sudden, that little pension that you had that's taxable, you're sitting there like, man, I thought this $5,000 or $6,000 was good per month in 2010. Now look, this isn't looking good. What other asset? Where are we getting the other money coming in from? So see, this is what we're talking about, and it's only going to get higher. Don't fool yourself out here. All right. Another great ETF, SCHB, of course, for emerging markets, IWM. You have to be positioned for the interest rate decrease because stock will shoot up. And he's right. Just like NVIDIA shot up, just like AMD, all the artificial intelligence stocks shot up. That's what's going to happen, except you'll have a myriad of stocks. But if you do an ETF fund, the ETF fund could have like the top 500 stocks in the index, right? Or the top 100. It depends. You have choices. But look right now, if you're not familiar with the stock market, make sure you go there and check it out down below in the description box. Get some free shares of stock if you're new to the stock market. It's from Robinhood and Webull that a lot of people have heard about. So go get it. Make sure it's happening. Thank you so much, Victor Marrero, for these. IWMY. Go check that out too, ladies and gentlemen. IWMY. Oh, and by the way, real estate investment trust, they've been able to hold on at 5% to 5.5% at this interest rate. If they can hold on to this interest rate, what's going to happen when they can reduce the interest rate and when these guys can refi and have lower payments, which gives you more profit? Okay. ORC, ARR, just to name a few. O, AGNC, just to name a few. All right. That's all we can do there. Victor Marrero continues. Absolutely can't forget stock Apple. That's right. AAPL. Option trading has been an outstanding passive income, a life changer, weekly income. Plan to live overseas with option trading and dividend income. Oh, Victor Marrero is going to be waking up. What is that? Early or late? I don't know. He's going to bed late for the stock market. Early, 4 a.m. Is he going to do pre-market trading? But anyhow, nonetheless, he has a game plan and he's going to be able to implement it because he's already set it up through stages of his life. So once again, congratulations. He's about to retire in about a week or so, 10 days. What are we talking about here? 7 days? Is it 7 days and a wake up? I think it is. All right. So Victor Marrero is going to be off to the races here, living his best life. He wants to join the Mr. Worldwide Club, and I can't blame him. What happens when the Federal Reserve interest rates are reduced? Well, you know what? I had something on screen today that I wanted. Oh, here we go. I'm going to have to pull this up. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Federal. No, that wasn't it. I'm going to one of my favorites. It was Investopedia, just so everybody can understand, because oftentimes, and they're using artificial intelligence on Google now. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. So this is what I love. I love corroborating information. So here's what Google says with their AI search system Oh, it says an AI overview is not available for this search. Okay, I thought they used AI. So here we are. You can see it for yourself, just what we started with. The Fed typically cuts only when the economy appears to be weakening and needs help. That's interesting. So here's the funny part. So notice what it says. The Fed typically cuts only when the economy appears to be weakening and needs help. Okay. All right. I find this very interesting because who says that there's some weakening? We have all-time record highs on the stock market. So they're talking about the economy, Main Street. But in our era, in the 2000s, in the 1980s, until now, this is no longer the sole reason. The sole reason is so corporations, banking, and all the financial industry benefits from reduced interest rates. The whole world, in fact. That makes all economies run hot. They know that. It doesn't have to be weakening. I don't call all-time record highs on the stock indexes as a weakening. What are they talking about here? But lower interest rates would reduce borrowing costs for homes, cars, and other major purchases, and probably fuel higher stock prices. I love it when a plan comes together, all of which could help accelerate growth. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Stock market. What have we been talking about all year long? We've been talking about it, grabbing some of these dividend stocks as well from yield max ETFs. I want to point out something here. Victor Marrero pointed out, where did he put the fangs? Where's those? Here we go, right here. He pointed these out, and go to yield max ETF. See the stocks that he has listed? Those are on yield max ETFs. If these stocks rise and you receive a 20% dividend or 25% or 30% dividend, now is the time to buy in. Because if somebody tells you you can get 30% return on your money and you never have to buy in again and you can get a substantial amount, can you imagine you win on both fronts where you can still potentially get 30% return and the stock price increases? That's a win-win-win. All right. So go over to yieldmaxetfs.com. Go check it out. We're a big proponent right now. It's high risk, high rewards. If you want 40%, yieldmaxetfs.com. You want 50%, okay, yieldmaxetfs.com. They use a different formula. That's why you have to study. But what happens when Federal Reserve reduces interest rates? Boom or bust. Well, let's get into the bust part, because what traditionally would have happened, the Federal Reserve would have stalled the economy. They would have kept going. Like it should have been at 5.5 to 6%. So that would have stopped loans and lending. So people would have to be liquid. Or what would happen normally, they would start saving. So then this way you're putting money into the banks. And so when people put money into the banks, remember, that is a catalyst also for improving the economy. All right. But that's not they do it the quick way now. So we're only willing to go up to 5 so they don't hurt their buddies, the rich dudes and the corporations. So then after they do this, like I've mentioned before, all they're going to do is just reduce it, because that's all you have to do to make it run. The problem comes in, like always, after you reduce it and you run up all the prices. Now, no matter what the interest rate is, even if you dropped it from 2% to 1%, the buying dries up because the prices are now too high. So now you actually did a reverse stall, because now nobody else is going to be borrowing. Everybody's strapped. You know, you can't just keep borrowing money unlimited. It's based on your debt to income, right? So That's how there's a stall. So when you do tax cut tax rates, that's why all of a sudden you have this run up because the stocks rise, everybody's borrowing, houses go up, cars go up. But there's always a fall, a recession, because now nobody else can borrow. They've already borrowed. And now you have no catalyst, right? So you have to understand what we're dealing with here. That's why this next run up is going to be shorter and faster. 3 years. Fourth year, expect disaster to hit because the interest rates would have come down. Now people have no reason to borrow. Why am I going to borrow? Or why am I going to buy something new when things cost $300,000 or $400,000 more in the case of a house, or 500? And now you want me to, I have a 1.9, a 2.5 interest rate, and you want me to have a 4.5? Why would I do that? So now there's no reason for me to buy anything. And if I do, I got to pay an ungodly amount of money because the average home price will probably be 1.5 million after this next bull run. So you have to understand what you're dealing with. That's why you don't want these cuts, because ultimately you're always going to have a recession. There's no way around it. You're going to have a dip. You're going to have a fall. And so it's better if you actually did things in a slower progression down, and it would be better if it was at 3.5 all the time, or 4% all the time. So then people, if they save money, would have money even at 4%. Hell, treasury bonds are only 4% in some cases. So imagine if your bank account was 4%, most people would leave it at the bank. They wouldn't even do that transaction. They just go down to the bank and be like, give me my 4%. Call it a day. Give me my CD, 4%. I'll hold it for 2 years in here. Who cares? But when you start doing these fluctuations from 5.5 down to 1.9, people are going to go for the 1.9. And there will be nobody wanting to buy anything at 3.5. You see what I'm saying? It'll reduce the amount of people. So again, that's how we get booms, and that's how we get bust. And that's what's going to happen. And that's why you're going to have 3 years. You're not going to have 6 years. You're not going to have 5 years. You're only going to have 3 years this time. And why do I say that? Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Use your thinking cap. We talked about it here. There's 500 cities in America that the average price of a home is $1 million. All right. Just 4.5 to 5 years ago, it was in single digits, less than 30. All right. This is what we're talking about. Because 5-6 years ago, what happened? You had tax cut tax rates. So people bought. And then home prices skyrocketed. Right? Same thing's going to happen again. You're not going to be immune. All right. So don't even think about it. All right. Another great ETF, SCHB, Victor Morel, dropping dimes, dropping info, AAPL. Thank you so much for all of this information. Actually, my option strategy is the wheel, and it's set it and forget it. I wish I knew how that worked. Set the trades every Friday and don't look at it until the following Friday. You can win if the market is up or down both ways. This wheel thing, Victor Morel, I need a link. I need something. I got to find out. Maybe it's on YouTube somewhere. It's on Google. So we'll find out. But I just wanted to point out what the situation is, how interest rates affect the U.S. market. Once again, you guys know I'm a fan of Investopedia, and they say the exact same thing. There's nothing to say here. Changes in interest rates can have both positive and negative effects on the markets. Central banks often change their target interest rates in response to economic activity, raising rates when the economy is overly strong and lowering rates when the economy is sluggish. That's what they do. And that also turns into printing more money out of thin air. And that also means inflation down the line, everything's going to cost more. So it's actually a catch-22. That's what's the worst part about this capitalist system. If you reduce interest rates and then raise them, that inherently adds money to the money supply because they're loans. Remember, loans, you're paying for something out of thin air. It doesn't even exist in reality. You just said, oh, okay, I'll carry this note, this piece of paper. You send me X amount of dollars, but that $1,000 a month you're sending me for a car note, we gave you $100,000 car. So out of thin air is 100,000 on paper, and borrow against that piece of paper as well, which and again adds money to the money supply. So that's where this whole problem comes in. And that's why people like Bitcoin and Ethereum, because it's supposedly not inflationary. But who knows down the line what will happen if that was a major force to be reckoned with, where you had, a 50% market penetration. 50% around the world is what I'm referring to. All right. In the U.S., the Federal Reserve, the Fed, is responsible for setting target interest rates at which banks borrow and lend money to one another, known as the federal funds rate. While it usually takes at least 12 months for a change in this interest rate to have a widespread economic impact, the stock market's response to a change is often more immediate. Did you hear this? You guys paying attention? This is why we've been talking stocks for the last year heavily. All right. Now, in addition to the federal funds rate, the Federal Reserve also sets the discount rate, or the interest rate the Fed itself charges banks that borrow from it directly. The rate tends to be higher than the target federal funds rate, in part to encourage banks to borrow from other banks at the lower federal funds rate. Of course, banks have no problem with putting in a digital number to say we let you borrow at this rate. Come on now. All right. So just letting you know, when the central banks like the Fed change interest rates, it has a ripple effect. Lowering rates make borrowing money cheaper. Easiest way to say it. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, I'm going to put this link down in the chat room in case people don't understand why they're about to get left behind in about September. I think it's September, maybe November. But September would almost be ideal because it's a few months before Christmas. That gets people's credit card companies and interest rates and personal loans that have reduced that number right before Christmas, allow people to borrow more, have an all-time record high after this Christmas for consumer debt. All of you out here, be prepared. And it's here. Mr. Dividend is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Friday night live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. I hope all is well with you. Hello, SSN family. And yes, all is well with me. I got the notification and saw the trailer. Thank you so much for that. And that's only like 2 people that has said they've seen the trailer and saw and received a notification. He also says, smash that like button. Give it a 1 piece. Thank you very much for that. Everybody, make sure you share the videos. Everybody on Instagram, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight, because once again, it's a new thing that we're out here doing on Instagram, making things happen, live streaming. But so far, haven't been able to figure out how to save it, the live stream, to archive. Make sure you sign up under Stop Struggling Now on Instagram. Maybe I need 1,000. We need 1,000 followers. Maybe that's what it is. All right, go over there, show some love. We are making money in here. I know he is, because why? He's a proponent of Yield Max ETF. So we got to give him credit for that, as long as and everybody else. All right, so how awesome is that? Now, I'm not going to be here all night tonight because it's Friday night. It was July 4th weekend. Hopefully everybody was safe from the fireworks. Hopefully a lot of you had the day off. Some of you may have 3 or 4 days off. But as you know, you got to put in work these days. There's no way around it. Social media is about to continue to blossom. Are you going to be a part of it? Are you going to be a part of the next revolution, which is artificial intelligence, the robo taxis, everything that makes your life easy? On warehouses, you can have all warehouses, having robots that go around and pick up items off of shelves or stack items to ship. If you're going to be in that field, you should be studying right now. All right. It may be too late, but I don't think so. Because again, high paying job. All right. Looks like we're having a little delay here, but it's okay. That won't stop this train from rolling. Now, all-time record high today. So somebody has to say, what's going on with all-time record highs again on the one of the stock market indexes, and our interest rates are high? I thought it was just a bust going on right now. Wrong. That's not how it works. All right? Not how it works. Come on, guys. You guys know this, everybody. So much for being here. Thank you for listening. And again, look at this. S&P 500, NASDAQ post record closes Friday as jobs report raises Fed rate cut hopes. See the job. Okay, first of all-time record high for jobs creation in the last 40 years. Okay, why would a job report make it so the Federal Reserve would cut rates? Why? Why would somebody say that? Right? Look, U.S. economy added 206,000 jobs in June. Unemployment rate rises to 4.1. Okay, this right here is interesting because 4.1% unemployment rate is going to be unattainable in the future. When you start, when artificial intelligence comes, that's going to replace a lot of jobs. And when the robo-taxis come, all the Uber, Lyft, the short-term ride industry is going to be upended. Just what Uber did to the taxi industry, that's what the robo-taxis are going to do to everybody else. So now it's going to be about, can I get a car on the road? Can I make money while I'm sleeping? Are you going to be out of that realm? I don't know. I don't see how you can get in if it's Waymo, if it's Tesla, or if it's any other company that are just building these vehicles unmanned. So what are they going to let you do? Go around and buy a vehicle that's a robo taxi? I don't know. But that's going to be very interesting. That's all I can say, because now you're going to have people tampering with, if you had a robo-taxi, and remember, we always have bad guys in the world, right? Talking about kidnapping people and stuff. I mean, you got your own vehicle, go pick up somebody, lock the doors, and now they can't get out. I mean, this is what we're talking about here. This is going to get crazy. So I think they're going to be regulating it. So now a lot of that industry is going to change. Parking industry is going to change. But again, Britain's labor market, Bitcoin tanks as Mt. Gox begins repaying creditors. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. There's some payback. That's good. Inflation, over 170 billion wiped off cryptocurrencies. Market tanks on Mt. Gox Bitcoin payout fears. Sheesh. Wow. Tax identify. Okay. There's nothing more here. Ferrari's success as a luxury brand. Well, it's just what all luxury brands try to do. Limit what's available. Then you limit who can buy from you. First, you make a limited amount. Then you limit who your customers can be. Those two things, right? And you make a product that is top notch. All right. So that's how they've done it. That's how all the big luxury brands have been able to maintain it over all these years. When people go, a car is a car, like me, a car is a car. Come on. A to B. Do I really need to spend $350,000 to get from A to B? And my thing with luxury vehicles, especially these sports cars like they're showing Ferraris, the problem with that I have is I just don't understand how I'm supposed to buy a $300,000, $350,000, $250,000 car. And these guys are like, you know what? After 3 years, after your maintenance plan goes out, after your warranty goes out. Um, it's you, and every little piece is 5 to 10 grand or more. It's crazy. And I'm like, wait, why did I spend that much if I know I only have like a 4-year window where you're handling everything? And after that, I got to pay for when this high octane toy that I have, mechanically, something's going to happen. Let's get real, especially if I drive it. So that's kind of crazy to me. Rent a car for a road trip or drive your own. 5 things to consider. All right. So I just want to go look and see what happened today. Tesla shares wipe out loss for the year with 27% rally this week. I believe last week we were talking about Tesla saying, hey, now's a good time. Mr. Financial was here. And it appears, here we go. And why? Why? You got to pay attention to the news. All right, here we go. Eric, check out your email when you get time. Okay. I'm on emails as we speak. And in fact, thank you for mentioning that. There was something that I wanted to actually show, but let's see what you're talking about right now. Oh, Jesus. Oh my, this is getting outrageous. This is starting to get crazy. Okay, he sent me something for all you Floridians. This has nothing to do with, well, kind of, maybe has something to do with the interest rates, but Florida state created property insurance company voted to raise homeowners insurance rates by 14%. That's Citizens. They're already outrageous. Citizens gets to raise their rates by another 14%. Sheesh. This is crazy, everybody in Florida and around the country. It's not, just Florida. It's around the country. Florida, the reason why they get into it with Florida is because of you already don't have state tax. And so then how do you pay for everything else? How do you, real estate tax has to rise. Insurance for your home has to rise. Then they make you do certain things like we were talking about, your age of your roof and other things. What's the age of this, that, and the other? So there we go. So and Chase, what's this? The beloved Chase is talking about raising interest rates. This is from the Independent. Okay, I'll bring it on screen. This is crazy. Cap rates? What the heck? Why would the government do this? What the heck's going on? We can't have this, ladies and gentlemen. We can't have this. You're upsetting the apple cart. Nation's largest bank, Chase, threatens to charge for checking accounts if government caps fees. Under the proposed government regulation, credit card late fees could be capped at $8, and overdraft fees could be capped at $3. Oh my! Oh my! Oh my! Oh my! Ladies and gentlemen, the banks make billions of dollars on late fees and overdraft fees. Billions. This is very interesting. Very interesting. 86 million customers that checking accounts might not be free in the future if the federal government implements regulations capping overdraft and late fees. Chase is the largest top credit card. I wonder if they're going to say how much. Here it is. Chase Bank charges a $34 overdraft fee per transaction. It overdraws a balance more than $50. With a maximum of 3 fees per day. That means, wow. I like it. I don't really care what the banks do. I'm like, call their bluff. Call their bluff. Go for it. Call their bluffs. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. This is what I hate about banks. It's not like I hate, but I'm just saying this is one of those things that I dislike about banks. Because we are the consumer. First of all, banks can't operate without you putting money in their bank. I mean, they can, but what I'm trying to say is they need your money, all right, for the function of the bank. So I find it ironic that they're making these threats. I'm like, okay, don't make going to charge you if you have a balance of over what, 1,000? Will they charge you if you have a balance of 2,000 or 4,000 or 8,000? Are they going to charge you? Right? That's a slippery slope because there will be other banks that don't charge. So I'm just saying, people will shift all their funds to another bank. That's disastrous. All right. So all I'm saying is call their bluff, cap it, call their bluff. Just like California when they called the bluff, right? And Washington State, Oregon, Tesla is part of the AI revolution. Exactly. Don't bet against Musk. You'll pay for it. Yeah. First of all, Elon. Okay, all the companies that we mentioned so far, the Apples, the Nvidias, the AMDs, the TCMCs, which we didn't mention, but all these artificial intelligence companies, they are part of already receiving subsidies, already received loans from the government, special rate loans, interest only for 10, 15, 20 years. Elon Musk is no different. He's a one-man subsidy borrowing fund guy. So that's why you cannot bet against him, because he has unlimited deals with the government. Always. He's getting subsidies in the billions straight out. And not just one company, it could be 3 or 4. And the robo-taxi company won't be no different. So he's not only using other people's money, he's also able to borrow from the government at low interest rates for interest only. He'll pay it back. But remember, he's getting billions of dollars already in subsidies. So makes it a lot easier to pay back, right? So is he really paying it back? I don't know. But the point is, that's why you can't bet against him. And now he's in the robo-taxi space. He has a leg up against some of his competitors because how many people have been working on it? Only about 3 or 4 companies. So he's ahead of the game, and he has way more test vehicles that he can upload the software and let people test it out like they've been doing by getting in accidents, right? So you're the guinea pig testing his stuff out to see how it's working in the field. Waymo went a little different. They were testing in small cities with a driver for like the last 5 to 10 years. They're in San Francisco. People will see Waymo a lot more now. And sure, there's still kinks to be worked out, but they actually have cars driving around with nobody in them. Literally, they're way ahead of the game. Where's Waymo stock at? Damn it. But nonetheless, Victor Marrero works at the bank. Here's what he says. The banks won't lose money. They'll jam you up in hidden fees. If you think you're winning, you don't understand reality. Exactly. Exactly. They're going to add fees. It's just how are they going to do it? So, but my thing is, because of the way the banking industry is, if a bank loses, let's just say, we'll use Chase, for instance. They say they have 86 million customers. Chase wakes up and says, okay, since you're capping the fees, we're going to charge anybody that has $100 or less, $25 a month, whatever they make up. What if 10 million people take their money and put it in another bank? That right there is what's going to happen. It could be a credit union. It could be another bank that wants people business. It could be a regional bank that may say it could be an online bank. Because remember, online banks exist. So there's plenty of people that would just shift their money because a lot of people don't have the banking rep that makes them feel so good when they roll in, right? So a lot of people would just be like, man, I'll just go somewhere else. I can do online now. I got a debit card. I can even call them up. What's the big deal? So they could lose customers, millions. So that is one of the calculated risks. So I love it. But back to what California did. And some of the West Coast states, when they gave people a measly $20 per hour increase of pay. In some places it hasn't even started yet. But just the mere fact that they did this, and then restaurants said, we're leaving. Bye-bye. We're closing our door. And I'm sitting there like, that's very interesting. But that's how capitalism is supposed to work. So that means another person or a more efficient company who can pay people, well, that's not even a livable wage, but better wages will have a bonus. They will be able to then still survive. Competition has fled, and now they can grow. So now what's next? The robo restaurant, right? Where half of it's done by robots, half of it's done by people. You employ less people. You have a higher profit margin because just like the robots on the Amazon warehouse floor, you have robots now preparing food. So now you're getting rid of a large part of your expenses, employees. All right. What's this have to do with what happens when the Federal Reserve reduces interest rates? Because businesses borrow. That's what they do. When the interest rates are lower, they get to borrow more money. TVT 1596. Thank you, Senor G. Welcome. And Nelasco, I see you. Another real estate investor has joined us. D Noble. Welcome to the SSN Nation live stream, social media style. Make sure you like, hit the thumbs up, hit the heart, whatever platform you're on. Show some love, please. All right, here we are. If you can do a credit union, make sure it's a well-known one, like Navy Federal Credit Union. There you go, much better rates. I work for Chase, but 95% of my bank is with Navy Federal Credit Union. Exactly. Lower fees for wires, lower fees all around. Easy. Yeah, Navy. I have Navy as well. So I love Navy Federal. A lot of people do. And they have loan products that are off the charts. All right. Email. Oh, the Aero taxi. I'm not a fan. Hey, Eric, did you see Boeing to buy Spirit Aero? Yes, we talked about that a little bit on Wednesday. Deal after months of talks. Yes, I know all about it. I just don't see how this turns to fruition as a good thing. We don't have lanes up in the air. So I find it very interesting that they're going to be trying to do this, this Aero project. I just think this is way, way in the future. If they can pull it off, maybe it's time to study, because again, you can have these shares at dirt cheap prices, and in 10 years, this would be like artificial intelligence. All of a sudden, shares will be popping. They'll be from $20, and the next thing you know, they're $1,000 each. So that's what we're looking for, ladies and gentlemen. You're looking for winners. Brian P., Mr. Dividend gives you some. All right. Again, Boeing just bought Spirit Aero for $4.7 billion. Sheesh. All right. If you can do a credit union, make sure it's well known. Oh, I already did that one. All right. So it's on repeat. All right. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, what are we talking about here? It's pretty universal. It's pretty easy. This isn't like rocket science. You can pass this along to your kids. Whenever some government starts talking about tax cut, tax rates, tax cut, tax breaks, if you're wealthy, you're going. And if you aren't so wealthy, you're also going. Because if you put yourself in position to buy what else? Homes, stocks, then you win. If you don't do anything, then you lose, because the price of everything's going to rise when they do tax cuts and tax breaks. So you have to be in the items that are going to rise. So then you benefit from the equity. You benefit from the asset price increasing above what you bought it for. So quickly, not in 10 years or 15 years later, you get to shorten that time span up. Just keep that in mind. The unfortunate thing that's going to end up happening is on the top end as well. Once you have more homes where it's almost like a 1.5 or 1.3 million, could be out of the 50 states, that'll be like 25 to 30 of those states. Now, all of a sudden, you're going to find yourself at the top end And no matter if they reduce the interest rates, people can't afford it. That's what's going to end up happening on the top end. When will that happen? Is it going to be 7 years? Is it going to be 4 years? Is it going to be 8 years, 10 years? I think it's going to be 3 years. That's what I think. And after you run out the clock, after you reduce the interest rate, now what? You can't reduce them anymore. So now you're going to have a stall. And that stall is going to be catastrophic because nobody can borrow. Nobody's going to have a job that's going to increase their pay. Prices are going to be higher all the way around. And only the few are going to have wealth. So put yourself in position, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Put yourself in position. Oh my, this is again. Hey, Eric, did you see Fisker in bankruptcy again? What the hell's going on? How do they not? This is crazy. Really? I don't even understand why these guys can continue to keep trying to do this. This is a failed company for the last 30 years. I mean, they had a great concept with the solar panels on the metal of the car, the skin of the car, but it doesn't generate. They're not efficient. So you can't generate enough. Even when it's sitting outside, it's not generating enough. So I just wonder, Fisker filed for Chapter 11 in June after years of turmoil and unprofitable operations. Oh my God. Even as it prepared to deliver vehicles last year, it was scavenging parts from the personal EVs of the company's CEO and its CFO. Unbelievable. Fisker wants to sell its unsold cars to New York City Uber and Lyft drivers. But then you don't have anybody to, you know how much these cars cost to maintain? Holy smokes. And they just came out with the new ride. This one right here. That was touted. Isn't it called Ocean? I think it's called Ocean. Fisker asked bankruptcy court to sell its EVs at average 14,000. Oh my God. Wow. Here goes a deal, ladies and gentlemen. Here goes a deal. Fisker is liquidating. Are you kidding me? They just had a Super Bowl ad. I'm pretty sure 6-7 months, 5 months ago. Wow. 14,000. Who's going to buy a Fisker? I guess now you would have to go 14, 20,000 for one of these nice little Fisker hybrids or EVs. That would be incredible. Wow. But is it worth it? Battery costs X amount. No more service if they officially go out of business. Fisker is liquidating its vehicle inventory to cover vital expenses. 1,231 Ocean SUVs for up to 46 mil. Pending court approval. American lease will pay between $25 and $16.50 for each Ocean SUV. Oh, somebody is buying it. And then said, we'll take them off your hand. Wow. And people turn away even with the price at $25,000. Oh, there's a reason. No warranty, no service, no replacement parts. Oh, that's a no-go zone. That means you're going to be scavenger hunt whenever somebody gets in an automobile accident. Wow. Luxury. Oh my God. This is sick. This is sick. And nobody's going to take it. No company's going to come in and give them billions of dollars or hundreds of millions to take Fisker off their hand for so long. Wow, this is a disaster. My God, ladies and gentlemen, a big disaster. Hey, Eric, did you see Fisker in bankruptcy? It's over for them. Yeah, it looks like it. That looks like it's really over for them. That's incredible. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our talk tonight, our discussion. What happens when Federal Reserve reduces interest rates? Boom or bust? I don't think anybody's going to come to the conclusion that you're going to have a bust when they reduce interest rates. That has never happened yet. All right. It's never happened. But the bust on the other side, once you then heated up the market and everybody's then got their loans and nobody else can get any more loans. And now what? Can't heat up the market anymore. So now you're going to have a recession. Book it. But unfortunately, 3 years is what you have, ladies and gentlemen. That's when I'll be in retirement. So once again, 3 years is all you have. June 28th, 2027, I will be signing off. All right. So please come along for the ride. We're going to be making another couple thousand videos in the meantime. So we'll have the legacy here where people can go, I'll be damned. That's what he said in 2024. I'll be damned. That's what he said in 2018, 2019. It happened. That's right. 2027, you better be making 200,000 a year by, I would say any means necessary, but I don't want to get people in trouble. Legally. All right. Legally, $200,000 a year. What should you be in? Artificial intelligence. If you're into electric vehicles, that'd be good. Solar panels, that'd be good. Anything renewable resources would be good. And of course, robo-taxi department, that would be good. That's where we're going. In fact, the car business is probably going to be shaken up because by rights, has anybody seen the scooters in cities where they leave the scooters on the sidewalk and you pick them up? I believe ultimately, why would you have a vehicle? Because if they start doing robo taxis and they're talking about $4, $5, $6, $10, and now all of a sudden somebody says, well, you can go to work for $20 a day. So somebody starts doing numbers and they're just like, that's $600 a month. If I buy a car, it's $1,000 a month plus insurance, plus I got to charge up, plus all this other stuff. So either I'm just going to call up this robo taxi and do $20 a day. That's cheaper. Just the same process in major cities where people say, I'm taking the subway. Same thing is going to happen. That's going to eliminate people buying cars. So you can see where there's this friction going between EVs, robo-taxis, and the actual car industry in total. Because people may not even need a car when you can just ring up, come get me. In fact, it's even better. I need to leave at 7:30. So then the night before, the day before, the week before you schedule, 7:30, car and driveway. And you don't have to own it. You're just renting or renting to use it, so to speak, right? You're paying as you use it. So I don't see how people would not use that. They use the subway now. They use people movers. They use the trains to go back into locations. People in the Northeast corridor between New York and Boston, Philly, DC, they get on trains. 1 hour in either direction, 1.5 hours instead of driving. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Think about it. Where are we going to be going? And that also means less people have a job. Think about if you wiped out all the Uber drivers and Lyft. What's going to happen? Where are they going to work at now? They're not going to be working for a taxi company. They're not going to be working for an EV company or robo-taxi company. Too many jobs. That's millions of people. In fact, I'm just curious. I'm really curious. And while I'm curious, okay, I was going to do something else, but how many Uber drivers are there in the world? I'll go within the world, not just US. I want to see how many in the world. 7.1. 7.1 in the world. Then I'm going to go USA. All these people would lose jobs in a large percentage of these populations. 5.4. Damn. Oh, no, hold on. Out of which 1.5 million drivers are working in the United States. That's 1.5 million people that potentially could be out of jobs. Taxi drivers out of jobs. That's going to be millions as well. So the whole industry is going to be shaken up. So you should be in from an investor standpoint. You got to ride the wave. Tesla, got to ride the wave. If Apple ever comes out with a car, that'd be interesting. But nonetheless, and any of these other EV vehicles companies that get into the robo-taxi biz, Waymo, I'm waiting. WAYMO, ladies and gentlemen. But it's going to heat up. So you have plenty of opportunities out here. All right, I'm going to wrap this up tonight. Okay, it's over for them. What was that? I'm with it. I'm with it. Yeah, it's over. I don't know if it's over. All I see is they've been resurrected for the last 10 to 15 years. I saw a Fisker in Lake Tahoe like early in the 2000s. And it was so cool because it was like a sports car. And then you can see the panel skin on it because they used to have a place in the Bay Area. And the first time I ever saw one, I saw it in the ridge at Lake Tahoe when I was staying there. And I got out the car and I was like, that car's kind of cool. It was a 4-door. It was sporty, long. And then I found out they go, yeah, it has solar panels. And I was like, okay, how do you charge this thing up? Because solar panel, this can't charge good enough at that time. It was probably in the 2000s. I don't know when, maybe 2005, 2003. I can't remember. But nonetheless, and they've had nothing but problems the whole time. No matter who has come in to bail them out, who's come in to give them money, back them, they just can't seem to get their act together. The same old, same old. They get a Fremont factory that Tesla used to be in and shares it, I guess, or which Toyota used to have back in the day. They get the incentives from the state of California, and they still can't get things going. How crazy is that? And that ocean looked awfully nice in the commercials. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, well, let's turn to something else. We've already established what you need to do, regardless of we know what the Federal Reserve is going to do. They're going to reduce the interest rate. So you know what you need to buy, what you need to put yourself into to reap the rewards in 3 to 4 years, a short time frame. Now, our Punta Cana Investors Forum, it's the SSN Lifestyle Punta Cana Investors Forum, is going to be December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. This is real estate. It doesn't have to be pre-construction. I mean, you could buy regular real estate if you want to. But the point of the Punta Cana Investors Forum, in case you missed the latest video about Dominican Republic Weekly, I just dropped it today, a new record has emerged. January 1st through June 30th, a new tourist record. New tourist record for the month of June. I'll be dropping a video about that tomorrow, but everybody can find out about it now. And so, tourist record year over year for everything. Monthly, the 6 months, for cruises, for air, it continues. All right? The question is, will it continue over the next 3 years as prices start rising? The answer should be a yes, because they got the Open Skies Agreement for the Dominican Republic and the United States. That means airlines that are not allowed in the United States right now, that service DR in the Caribbean, well, they are going to be able to expand into the United States. And we always love our own little special island jets, right? Because they tend to charge a cheaper rate. Because they generally have a cheaper rate to fly to their home country. And since they have their hangars there, it doesn't cost them anything for the overnight. Unlike somebody who's renting at the gates, who then have to go rent their hangars, right? Changes the dynamics. So you will have carriers for the DR in the Caribbean. Their rates could be lower. They could be doing $200 round trip from Dallas, $179 round trip from Dallas, who knows, from New York, Atlanta, Miami, Orlando, all of a sudden the East Coast prices drop, West Coast prices will drop as well. So that changes the game. Medical tourism, health and tourism is going to be big in the DR. They're building the infrastructure, but can they get to the finish line, ladies and gentlemen? The PunaCon Investors Forum, December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Go sign up at ssnlifestyle.com. Tickets are $199 each. Monday, we go see lawyers straight off the bat. It's advantageous if you have questions. It's advantageous to see lawyers immediately. Bring your books and pads and pencils, because this, or video, so that way you can record it. You can always reference it. It doesn't cost you anything additional. It's included. And that's why we go see two separate lawyers. So you can talk to two different ones. They're independent. They're not from the same law firm. So that way you can understand. You might have misunderstood something earlier. You can ask the next one. Or you might have forgotten a question to ask, so you ask the next one. So that's why we do that. On Tuesday, we go around to different projects where there may be deals. There may be a deal like the one that we were sitting at Nestor's office, and he says, well, there's an $86,000 studio, fully furnished. It's going to have sit on the golf course at Catalonia's golf course, and it's not even officially out yet, but you can actually reserve. And I say 86,000 fully furnished studio unit? And so there was only one. And so somebody from SSN Nation got that one. I mean, there was more, but when we got there, the friends and family was gone. Only one. And I'm happy to report, as you guys know, we had our own. Crescia was able to get that. If there was more than one, they probably would have sold 3 or 4 or 5. But there was one fully furnished, 86 grand for a studio unit on a lake, on a golf, well, not on a lake, but you can see a lake on a golf course, fully furnished. And about 3 years from now, delivery, payment under $1,000 per month. Can't get no better than that. So you get that. And then some of y'all, we went out to Cana Rock, Victor Morel's spot, and we went to go see where Oasis Bay would be. We went to the Cana Bay so people would understand what's out there. You can see the golf course. They took us in a shuttle van. It was Oasis Vivantia Homes. We came back to Batu at Caribbean Lake Park, and these guys put a spread out that was unbelievable. Lauren, what do you call him? The restaurant. I don't want to call him the manager because he's actually more than the manager, but he's running the whole thing. He put out a spread that was unbelievable. It was awesome. Oh, and how much did that cost? Nothing additional for you. All right. So this is the type of stuff that we have going on when we're there. And then we talk with Banker can come in and talk with us. We have several different things. And then you don't want to miss the Wednesday night live stream where some of the members, they invade the live stream, the takeover. That's when they come in on Wednesday night, and I start it off, and then they take over and talk about it, and they can talk about their experiences on what happened and how things went down. So those are the type of things we do. We have a little bit of fun. But if you do come, go sign up at ssnlifestyle.com right now. There's 5 seats for $199. After those are gone, then the price points go up to $249. So make sure you get in early. There's only 4 seats left. Somebody's already signed up. And I'll see you in the DR December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And we'll be going around. Now, stay over right now. Let's just say one of the better places to stay is in Los Corrales. Near La Bruja is the best thing you can probably do because we like to meet at La Bruja. I like to set it up. We're meet at La Bruja at 10 a.m. Well, we're leaving at 10:05 a.m. is generally the point. So you stay within the area. We leave from there, and then we go. Downtown hasn't been built yet. There's only like Central Park is there, yes, but there's not, the infrastructure is not right yet. And there's Vista Cana's built, but it's not built right yet either. There is infrastructure at Los Corrales. You have everything. Nightclubs, restaurant, bars, music, entertainment, casino, you got everything. So staying there for now. As we continue to go forward, as they built, if they build downtown, but that's another 2-3 years. But again, Los Corrales, we stay there, get a place. Airbnbs are cheap in December. So we'll see what happens. Okay. Let's go. Eric, what happened to the project in Michi's? My Michi's project, I could not do the funding that I thought the guys sent over agreements. They sent over stuff saying they were going to fund it. We had a rate. I'll just tell you guys, since it didn't happen, it was 11%, but it doesn't really matter. It was 11% interest only for 1 year. At the end of 1 year, it was going to roll over to 2 years as long as we paid the interest for the year. So they were going to allow interest only, just like banks, interest only for a year, and not have to pay the principal. They were going to give us an option to run it twice. All right. So if we didn't pay them the principal the first year and we wanted to run it interest only for another year, they were good. Let's get real. 11%. Come on, our mill starts being crazy. That project I was going to do can't happen. None of my projects can happen. Went through 4 guys. They all said, yes, we're sending the money. And then as it turns out, well, I had to talk to my partner. They said, well, this one we don't want to do. This one we'll do. So things never worked, materialized. The other Michi's, Jaway J, Macau, which is not Michi's, but the other Michi's I haven't talked about yet. That I can't really talk about yet. There's a reason why I thought I was going to get the information. I can't get the information. First of all, I'll tell you why. Because it's supposed to have ocean views. Ocean views in Michi's on the mountain or on the side of a mountain. So I wanted location. I said, okay, it's supposed to be built in 2 years. So if it's going to be built in 2 years, the first phase, then that means send me the GPS coordinates, because then if I have the GPS coordinates, then I can actually, I don't need them. I can just go look at the satellite and get satellite imagery. But then I said, okay, not only do I need that, I also need a picture on the ground. I want to see you shoot a picture from the area, the spot where these places are supposed to be, and show me. So then I sent them a picture of when I was at Michi's, and I said, what you guys call Laguna Limon or whatever it's called. I said, I call it something else. And then I showed them I was actually there. Because another little thing, I was going to get this property that was 4 acres on the lake. So I actually have pictures where I'm standing on the lot, on the acreage, shooting pictures, saying, because this would give you an idea of the view. I said, yeah, if you stuck a house here, that's the view. So that's why I need the pictures, because that's where the places are supposed to be. I want to see what the view looks like. They won't send the pictures. So I can't talk about the Michi's, but if it does break out, yeah, a month is going by. That would affect the payment plan. But without them showing pictures, without them showing foundation movement, 2 years, 24 payments, 27 payments, I'm like, okay, so have you cleared the land? It's on a mountain. You should start. There should be some progress. Started. So I need to see something. So that's why I haven't broken it out yet. I have to say. All right. That's why I haven't broken it out. All right. Don't forget about the guys that cars run on water. Exactly. They were killed. Exactly. Steam, water, all that was killed. Electric vehicles have been out since the late 1800s. That's what's so funny about this. They abandoned it, and it would have been on DC current, by the way, instead of alternating, which is much more powerful, quite frankly, just not stable enough. But nonetheless, the point is, industries wipe out other industries all the time. Could you imagine if they would have allowed the electric vehicle to pursue itself? And of course, Henry Ford didn't get his $4 million loan to get Ford operational in the early 1900s, and he came up with that assembly line format. Well, actually, he didn't. CRT alert. Hold on. Actually, history is fickle. History is fickle. All right. History is fickle. I guess you know what? I just feel like doing something today. So let me see what it says. Let me see who it says. There we go. Okay, let's see if it says. It says, yep, there goes one person who's in the, that's one person. Okay, hold on. I'm about to show you guys something. You guys remember Oldsmobile? That's no longer out. We might as well do a little history lesson right now, because Henry Ford gets credit for the assembly line most often. But that's not how it went down. So I figured, why not? Why not? A quick question: who invented the assembly line? If you answered Henry Ford, that's what everybody would answer. But now people here in the SSN Nation won't. You would only qualify for partial credit. In fact, the first assembly line was developed by Ransom E. Olds, founder of the Olds Motor Vehicle Company and namesake of the Oldsmobile. Okay. All right. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'm trying to say. Former engineer at Thomas Edison's factory was Henry Ford. So there you go. Ransom E. Olds, ladies and gentlemen. But I have something even better than that. All right. So some people would be like, what? What are you saying? All right. Okay. This is going to blow some people's mind. Okay, let's see. Google's not going to give me the answer. That's interesting. Very interesting. I'm going to have to pull this up another day. But I'll pull this up for now, because this is very interesting. This is what, let me see if I can get this. Let's see. Oh, I can't pull it up. I cannot pull it up. Nope. Here we go. I'll do it a different way. Hold on. Here we go. All right. That's not what I want either. History Channel. Here we go. So this is just for some people. Here you go. All right. One of the earliest U.S. car companies was founded by a formerly enslaved man, C.R. Patterson and Sons, which started as a carriage building firm, produced luxury roadsters and later bodies for service vehicles. Here we go. All right. Unbelievable, right? So it's very interesting. Henry Ford, 2 years earlier, 1913, had introduced a moving assembly line at his Ford Motor Company. His mechanized factory was pumping out hundreds of thousands of Model T cars, 685, 850, far less than Patterson Greenfield's bespoke roadsters. Very interesting. But this is how entrepreneurs shine. Here we go with the Patterson right here. Pretty cool, right? Carriage business in the 1890s. All right. So everybody comes together at one time. Just what's happening with EVs. This is what we're talking about here. So I just had to throw that in there, because there's competition breeds a better environment and it breeds innovation. So when you have Olds who comes out with the assembly line, Henry Ford says, wait a minute, I can do this, I can do that, because he saw that. Patterson says, I saw stuff, but I was making carriages already, so I know how to make the body or underpinnings of a vehicle. Now I got to add some wheels. So he says, let me join the party. So all this innovation's going on at the same time. Steel sharpens steel, iron sharpens iron, right? So just keep that in mind. All right. In our endeavors, again, December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, come out to the DR each day. We have something to do that helps improve you. Business, you want to start a business, you can do it. You want to start getting a real estate game, you can do it. You want to do anything else in between, you can do it. But you should know the lay of the land. At least go over there and check things out and speak with like-minded people and with the actual professionals. You don't need me. Once you're here with us, you don't even have to use the people that you get introduced to. There's nothing, you're not beholden to anything. If you want to use different lawyers, so be it. If you want to buy project from somewhere else, so be it. You're there to learn for you. All right. We're not this isn't a timeshare presentation when we're over there. It's not like we're locking you down going, hey, you got to buy something from these guys or try to offer to buy. You got to buy something from here. The only time you get offered is on Tuesday when we go to different projects so you can see what new projects coming out. Like we knew about Coral Lake. We knew about Kaya. We knew about Oasis Lake. Nobody else knew about it. So everybody had first dibs other than friends and family and the realtors' friends and family. But other than that, it wasn't on the open market. So you had first dibs. The perfect location, the units. Like at Oasis Lake, the guy goes, I want the middle unit because it comes in A building and a B building and a C building. So the middle unit means nobody's coming to the middle unless you're staying there. Everybody coming off elevators, bringing their luggage, people talking and all that, they're stopping well before they get to your unit, right? So that's why I always try to take the middle unit. I don't like to be by elevators. All right. Well, we're going to wrap this up now. I love you guys very much. I want to thank you so much once again for being here. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, but that's why I'm going to be dropping another video tomorrow about the Dominican Republic record. I also dropped another video today, but we have a lot of videos I'm going to be dropping. And I'm thinking about dropping that Mishi's project because the opportunity is wild when we're talking about 140,000. Yes, it's a 1-bedroom, but 199,000 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and you have ocean view. That is crazy. And by a reserve. What I mean by that is it's by a reserve, which is like I don't want to say campground area because it's not campground, but it's like a park. And it's by the park on the same mountain, apparently. So that's why I wanted to get the lay of the land, exactly where it is, because this has potential. Early in the Mishi's game means at 140, that's a good price. And if you missed the $119,000 video, there was 3 units still left. A 1-bedroom, 1-bath inside Vista Cana for $119,000. Go look at that video. It's a live stream. Or join our group on WhatsApp. I am the admin. If you need some information, hit me up or just go through the group and you'll find the brochure. And my company is SSN Lifestyle SRL in the DR, and we are a broker for the company. So that's why you should go through me. You can go through anybody, but I recommend going through me. Hit me up on WhatsApp. I put it in the chat room. It's on Instagram. I'll put it there as well. Welcome Works Mazzola as well, but I put in the chat room on other social media platforms. Join our WhatsApp group. I have to approve you. So you want to find out more information, there's like-minded people in the group, and I am admin. So you can hit me up if you're interested in any of the projects that you see in our group or any other information. But go to ssnlifestyle.com to sign up for December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th for the real estate deal. And I thank everybody for being here tonight. I appreciate your support. Everybody with the icon, I appreciate your support even more. At the beginning of the chat of this live stream, I put in www.beachfrontjava.com. Beachfrontjava.com. Why? Because our own Professor Auntie Val and family started the beachfrontjava.com. What do you receive? You put in promo code SSN Lifestyle, all caps, SSN Lifestyle, all caps. After your first order, you will receive a discount for life. What type of coffee? Premium blend, whole bean, fine ground, drip ground, and Keurig. At least 20, 25 different varieties. It's almost like wine. You like toffee, you like chocolate in your coffee mix. Do you like regular coffee? I mean, there's 20 different varietals. I mean, it's crazy, right? And then they have tea as well. And these beans, of course, they're from Central America. Of course, they're from South America. Of course, they're from Africa. Of course, beans from Indonesia. That's where you get the premium blended beans from, right? That's what she has. They come in Ziploc bags. Free shipping in the United States. That's even better. But after your first order, you get free shipping all the time. Not if you use a promo code, just all the time. But you get a discount if you use the promo code from every order after. That's why you go to Beachfront Java, show some love for our own Professor Auntie Val. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to leave. So I just want to let you know, just make sure you're safe out there. And like I've already said, I love you guys very much. I appreciate your support over all these years. And let everybody know we're out here trying to help people. No guru zone. No ebooks. No courses. No nothing. We help you. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, live streams in the evening time. I'm going to surprise a few people by doing live streams in the middle of the day, but I'm not going to really announce it. That's why you need to join our email list. And it's at the very bottom of the description box here on YouTube. All right. And with all that said, you never know when somebody's under stress or duress, but keep a level head out here. Be safe. And with all that said, keep your head up. Keep moving. And I'm out.